So here we have a house that is new to me. I've never tried anything from this house before, and this was actually sent to me, I believe, by one of my subscribers who had reached out to me a long time ago, wanted to share a fragrance with me. And this is a fragrance brand based out of Romania, and this fragrance is called Pining Dew 2, and the brand is called Toskovat. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, brand new 2022 release, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about this pineapple-based fragrance called Pining Dew 2 out of this Romanian brand called Toskovat, I do want to start things off by saying that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload these videos to the channel, and also click where it says enable all notifications, because there are some subscribers that miss some of my uploads, and give this video a thumbs up as it would greatly assist with the YouTube algorithm. So here is a fragrance that is a pineapple-based fragrance, and I tried this one about a month ago when it first arrived in the mail, and I couldn't believe just how bright and juicy the pineapple is. Now there's also this gin accord in here. There's pink pepper, there's some other ingredients sort of working their magic. And also this fragrance is Extrait de Parfum. Now if you look at the top of the box, it will actually say Extrait de Parfum. Now if you look at the front here, it says Extrait de Mémoire, right? So an extract of a memory. And I think the perfumer and the founder of the company, he's probably aiming to set out to create fragrances that are inspired by memories that he has had, right? I'm assuming it's a male CEO or brand owner from the research that I've done. But in any case, I'm very excited to give you my thoughts on this smell. Also let you know how I think this stacks up against other pineapple-based fragrances out there. So let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So right when you spray this fragrance on, it is going to give you a burst of pineapple. The pineapple is bursting at the seams. That's really the sensation that I get. It's really juicy, really full. There's a certain tartness about it, but you can get that saccharine sweetness as you would from a regular pineapple. Definitely comes across smelling very rich, very saccharine and sweet and juicy and fruity. And immediately it reminded me of Fine Apple by Gallagher Fragrances. It also reminded me of Mile High by Parle-moi de Parfum. Now this fragrance, in addition to the pineapple, has this gin note in here. So it's a little spicy, it's a little fresh. I'm sure there's also perhaps a little bit of juniper in here as well. So it's not just the pineapple working its magic alone. There's pink pepper, there's some other ingredients in here too. And then in the base you have vetiver oil from Java. So the vetiver kind of gives it this green earthy touch, but that pineapple accord in the opening is so strong. It's really most of what you get in this fragrance. Now, I know a lot of people out there, they hear pineapple, they're inclined to think about Creta Ventus or something like that. Smells nothing like that, right? If anything, it's much closer to those other two fragrances that I mentioned before. There is this aroma molecule that smells very close to the smell of pineapple. In the past, I thought it was manzanate, but I've been corrected on that. I think manzanate smells more like apple, although there might be a little bit of manzanate in here as well. But it definitely has this fruity personality that doesn't seem to subside until hour 3 or 4. At that point, the green, earthy, woodsy textures of the base start to come out, and you do get more of that, vetiver that's lingering in the base. So really, this kind of takes a two-tiered approach. In the opening, it's a little spicy, fresh, fruity, and sweet with the pineapple, and then during its evolution, it transforms from this fruity bomb to basically this dry down of green, earthy, and woodsy vetiver. That's what you're gonna get from this fragrance. So Pining Dew, does it kind of convey like a morning dew kind of a vibe? Not really. I think it does its own thing. I think this is more of like a very juicy, fruity fragrance, but I do get some of those pine elements, even though to pine on something means to like harp on something or to overly focus on something. But I do kind of get like this green, earthy, verdurous feel, and I think most of that is probably coming from the vetiver. But hey, if you're a fan of the note of pineapple and you want a really juicy, like almost syrupy, that's how sweet it is, almost like a syrupy pineapple, check out Pining Dew 2 by Toskovat, a brand based out of Romania. And thank you very much to the subscriber who sent this to me. I really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, the only other two fragrances that this one really smells like are Mile High by Parlement de Parfum and Fine Apple by Gallagher Fragrances. Aside from those two, don't think it smells like anything else unless there's like a parfum vintage that went like really fruity, which I think they've done, but I really don't remember the names of too many of them just because they have like well over 24 now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But unique for what it's worth. And the overall smell, I think in the opening it can be a little bit overwhelming with that burst of pineapple, but if you give this one just 10-15 minutes to dry down, it definitely has a very appealing aroma. Also one that I think would land you a few compliments, right? It definitely has that sweet, juicy, unique, gregarious personality. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 8 hours on your skin. Projection was amazing for the first hour of application. It radiated beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, right around hour 7 or 8, it became a skin scent. If you spray it on clothing, you're gonna get the whole day. In terms of versatility, perfectly unisex. I think perhaps somebody who's a little bit younger will appreciate this fragrance a little bit more just on account of the sweetness of the pineapple. I think this is great for casual scenarios. Once you let it dry down, then you can wear it formally as well. It has enough of that tart, refined quality in there that I think you can pull it off in both scenarios. And I think this is great for every season except for the summer. I think because of that juiciness and the fruitiness of the pineapple, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but every season except for the summer. In terms of the presentation, I think it looks really cool. You got an up-close look at that. My final verdict on this fragrance is it is one of the strongest pineapple fragrances I've ever tried. It's a very juicy pineapple. It has some really nice elements to it. It takes kind of a two-tiered approach. It's not overly complicated in terms of the DNA, but if you like the notes that are in here, you're gonna love this fragrance. So definitely look at the note breakdown, make a decision for yourself. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, or if you took something of value from today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.